Welcome to Wonder Frame, where every frame is full of wonder.
Imagine riding a bicycle through busy traffic, cars honking, people crossing, and your eyes are completely closed. That sounds impossible, but a man named Daniel Kish does exactly that, and he has been blind since he was 13 months old. His secret is not a gadget, it is not a guide dog, it is a tiny click he makes with his tongue, and a brain that turns that click into a picture. This real-life superpower is called human echolocation, and the wild part? You could learn it too. Here's the idea we are going to carry all the way through this video. Imagine every click Daniel makes is a flashlight beam, except instead of light, it is pure sound. Every time he clicks, he is shining that acoustic flashlight into the world around him. The echoes that bounce back paint everything in sound. By the end of this video, you will understand exactly how a sound can become a three-dimensional picture inside a human brain, and it will change how you hear the room you are sitting in right now. Let us start with the click itself. When Daniel presses his tongue to the roof of his mouth and snaps it away, it creates a tiny pop. That pop lasts just 3 milliseconds. 3 milliseconds. That is 3/1000ths of 1 second. A blink takes about 150 milliseconds. This click is 50 times faster. That short, sharp sound is ideal as an acoustic flashlight. It is brief enough that its echo does not overlap with itself, so the returning information stays crisp and clean. Dr. Laura Thaler, a psychologist at Durham University, studied those clicks in detail. She found they fan out in a focused 60-degree cone, like a proper flashlight beam, not a bare bulb. Those sound waves travel outward. They hit a wall, a tree, a parked car, then they bounce back. And this is where your ears do something extraordinary. Your two ears sit on opposite sides of your head. Any sound from your left reaches your left ear a tiny fraction of a second before your right. Your brain clocks that difference automatically. That tiny time gap tells your brain which direction the echo came from. The loudness of the echo tells it how far away the object is, and the texture of the echo tells it what the object is made of. A hard glass window bounces back a sharp, snappy echo. A leafy bush returns a soft, fuzzy one. The acoustic flashlight does not just show you something is there, it starts describing it. So in just a fraction of a second, a single click tells you something is over there, about this far away, and it feels roughly like this. Now do that 20 times a minute while walking. That is exactly what Daniel Kish does. He calls his technique flash sonar. Flash because the click is instant, like a camera flash. Sonar because it is pure sound navigation. And he is not doing this slowly and carefully in a quiet room. He is riding a bicycle on real roads, in real traffic, navigating turns, reading the environment as it changes second by second. He has also led hiking expeditions through his organization, World Access for the Blind, which he founded in the year 2000. He has taught flash sonar to over 500 blind children worldwide. But Daniel is not the only one. Meet Ben Underwood. Ben lost his sight at age 3 due to retinal cancer, and without any formal training, he taught himself to echolocate. Ben could play basketball, he could skateboard, he could walk through a crowded hallway without bumping into a single person, his own acoustic flashlight built entirely from scratch. His story, shared widely before his passing in 2009, showed the world that this ability is not some rare genetic gift. It is something the human brain can build if you give it the right sounds to work with. Which brings us to the most mind-bending part of this whole story. What is actually happening inside the brain when someone echolocates? Pause here and guess. Drop your answer in the comments. You might expect the sound to be processed in the hearing area of the brain, the auditory cortex. And it is, at first, but then something extraordinary happens. The echo information travels to the visual cortex, the part of the brain normally dedicated to processing your eyes. Brain scans of expert echolocators show this area lighting up like a screen. Think about what that means. Their brain is using its vision software, but feeding it sound instead of light. The acoustic flashlight is not just making noise, it is generating actual images. They are not hearing the world, they are seeing it, just through a completely different door. The brain did not get new hardware, it rewired itself to use what it already had. Scientists call this ability neuroplasticity, the brain's power to rewire its own connections based on experience. Neuro means brain. Plasticity means it can be reshaped like clay. And this clay does not harden when you grow up. A landmark study from Durham University in 2021 proved something remarkable about that assumption. Researchers trained both blind and sighted adults to echolocate over just 10 weeks. 10 weeks! And brain scans showed that in both groups, the visual cortex had begun responding to echoes. Sighted adults, people who could see perfectly well, their brains still learned to process echoes visually simply because they practiced. Age was not a significant barrier. That is the first big myth to explode. You do not need to be born blind, you do not need exceptional hearing. You need practice and a brain, which, good news, you already have. Here is the second myth. People assume expert echolocators must have hearing that is sharper than everyone else's, like house. That sounds logical. It is also completely wrong. Tests show expert echolocators have normal hearing sensitivity, the same as yours. The difference is in interpretation. Their brains have learned to pay deeper attention to the echoes that everyone can hear but mostly ignores. You are already receiving echoes right now in this room. Your brain is just filing them in the bin marked unimportant. Practice teaches your brain to fish those echoes back out. Now for the accuracy numbers, because these will genuinely surprise you. Expert echolocators can pinpoint an object's position to within about 1.2 degrees of accuracy.
That rivals the peripheral vision of sighted people. Not central vision, which is very sharp, but the vision at the edge of your eye, with sound. No light required. And here is the counterintuitive twist that even scientists did not see coming. You would naturally assume echolocation, like sight, is sharpest straight ahead, directly in front of you. That is the obvious answer. A 2022 study found the exact opposite. Expert echolocators were more accurate at locating a target 45 degrees to their side than directly in front of them. 45 degrees, off to the side. Why? Because the two ears are spaced apart. When a sound arrives from the side, the gap in arrival time between your two ears is at its maximum, giving the brain the most information to work with. The acoustic flashlight, it turns out, has a sweet spot, and it is not pointing straight ahead. It is angled. The brain is designed for side detection in a way nobody predicted. Yes, really. What can the acoustic flashlight actually reveal? An object's location, obviously, but also its size, its rough shape, its texture, even hints about how dense it is. A close, large object sends back a loud, fast echo. A far, small object sends a faint, delayed one. Different materials twist the echo's character in ways an experienced brain reads like a language. But the acoustic flashlight does have limits, and this is important. It cannot easily detect a hole or a drop-off in the ground. The ground itself is always sending back a constant echo, masking what is missing. This is why most blind echolocators also use a long cane or a guide dog alongside flash sonar. No single tool does everything. The best navigators layer their information. Now, let us trace back through history for a moment. Long before scientists understood any of this, observers noticed that some blind people could walk through a room without hitting walls, and they called it facial vision. They genuinely believed these people were sensing objects through their skin, with their face. Scientists were baffled. The truth that it was sound, echoes, and an astonishing brain took decades to uncover. And now that truth connects directly to technology you interact with every single day, because humans are not the only ones using acoustic flashlights. When a car reverses and starts beeping, that is echolocation. Ultrasonic sound waves shoot backward, hit an obstacle, and the time it takes for the echo to return tells the car how close you are. When a doctor uses ultrasound to look at a baby before it is born, that is echolocation. Sound waves into the body, echoes back, brain on a screen. A medical acoustic flashlight. And self-driving cars? They use LiDAR, light detection and ranging, which is essentially echolocation but with laser light instead of sound. Same principle, different beam. Full three-dimensional map of the world built in real time. Daniel Kish and the engineers behind self-driving vehicles are solving the same problem with this same solution. One discovered it through necessity, the other copied nature to build a machine. Both are shining acoustic flashlights. Let us pause and pull the three biggest ideas together before the final reframe, because these are genuinely worth locking in. 1. Human echolocation is real, learnable, and practiced by people like Daniel Kish and Ben Underwood, who use tongue clicks to build mental maps of the world with extraordinary precision. 2. The brain does not just hear the echoes, it sees them. The visual cortex physically activates to process echo information, turning sound into three-dimensional vision. The Durham University study proved this in both blind and sighted adults. 3. This same principle powers car parking sensors, medical ultrasounds, and self-driving vehicles, a human superpower replicated in silicon. The acoustic flashlight is everywhere once you know to look for it. Now here is the closing reframe. Remember the opening? Riding a bicycle through busy traffic with your eyes closed? That sounded impossible. But now you know the truth. Daniel Kish's eyes are closed, and his world is lit up, not by light, by a 3-millisecond click that returns as a landscape, decoded by a visual cortex running on pure sound.
It was never impossible. It was just using a different flashlight, one that every human brain, yours included, is capable of learning to switch on. If this made you think differently about your own brain, go watch her video Why the World's Quietest Room Freaks You Out. It takes the mystery of sound and silence somewhere you will not expect.
And if you dropped your answer in the comments earlier about what the brain was doing, go check it now. See how close you were. Your acoustic flashlight was already working. Subscribe so the next video finds you, because the world is full of things your brain can do that nobody told you about, and we are just getting started. Thanks for watching Wonder Frame. Hit subscribe and ring the bell. See you in the next one.